Because there's such a wind up. I don't know what to do with my hands. Back at it again.
We're here.
And we're
Talking
singing
about cats.
No, another week, another episode. We're moving into August.
Holy smokes.
I know.
I say that a lot. Now Vera says it. Holy smokes.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does. And she thinks it's a swear. So then she goes, oh, I don't know why.
I mean, it's better than holy shitballs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely probably more. I hear that more probably from her. But we're trying to move it to holy smokes before kindergarten starts.
Oh, kindergarten.
I know.
Are you ready?
No. Matt's definitely not.
I can't wait. He's going to
He's
cry.
going to cry.
Did we take off that Monday?
Yeah, just to watch him cry.
Yeah, just to watch him cry. We're coming in late, guys. Yeah. Oh, back to school. It's coming. No. So we've been
busy.
The last 2 weeks have been chaos. We went on our beach vacation and we were so excited to get back in the office and things were going to be so relaxed and we were so rejuvenated. And I guess I'm glad we were.
Yeah, thank goodness, because otherwise I would.
Because we came back to a fucking tornado of just pure chaos. But before we jump into anything else, I almost just kept going. I'm Amanda.
I'm Dr. Olson.
And we are
Feces and Laughter.
Okay, all right. So, what have we been doing the last 2 weeks?
Cats.
More cats.
All I think about it now is cats.
There are just cats everywhere. Yeah, so many cats. So, if you guys remember, I think very early on in our podcasting, we sat down with Sam and Suzanne from Pet Food Pantry. We also sat down with Marilyn Thompson with Saving Graces for Felines. Yeah. So we've actually met with both parties that we're going to talk about today. But they're both two local rescues that do an amazing job. They do so much in our community, and they primarily work with our hospital. They are two rescues that we see just about all of
just about every day.
Yeah, we see them all the time, but also like all the animals that they're working with, they come through our hospital. We're doing spays and neuters, vaccines, treating them for illnesses, whatever. So Sam reached out to you, I think. She texted us. She group texted us one day 2 weeks ago.
To borrow some carriers.
Yes.
And I was nice enough we were actually slammed that day, and it was going to be too hard to have a staff member go. So when I finished up surgeries, I was like, I'll just bring over like 8 or so carriers that we had laying around. And so I unsuspectingly showed up.
She texted, she said, hey, we got a call and there's maybe a hoarding situation going on at this one house, and there's a lot of cats.
Yeah, bring carriers and so we can help get some of these cats out of here at the end.
And Sam and Suzanne with Pet Food Pantry, they don't do cats. They're not cat people, but they are now. But everything they've done up until now has like primarily 98% been dogs. So this was definitely out of their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so you did. They got there. I think they got there and they texted back and they were just like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So I went out and luckily a lot of the community already had been notified. So it kind of went to like the immediate, like
all the rescues.
Yes. Everyone come out and help. There are like private fosters that had picked up some cats initially.
The Humane Society was there.
Yeah. Another Bear Garden rescue. There were so many people and organizations that came together and like immediately were there to help each other. It was so cool to see in our community these people that all have the same probably values, same mission, the same goals of just helping the cat population in this community. That is pretty, we have a lot of, even just TNR type of things going on, that to find a household that has suspected to have over 150 cats in it. That was a
had
big,
we said that yet?
Yeah, no, I think
I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, that was the estimated number of cats in the home, and so it kind of started out as just as many hands on deck as can, and then get most of these cats out. The biggest problem that we are facing and going to face is the lack of placement for these cats.
Yeah.
It's a scary situation.
It is. And we've been really lucky so far. So Sam reached out to you. All of these organizations showed up, started pulling cats, and got as many cats as everybody could safely transport right then and there. And you came in with the first group of cats. I want to say you had somewhere between like 6 and 10 cats. Came in with your first group of cats, and then we were just like, okay, what do we do? And so then we reached out to Saving Graces, and Marilyn was like, okay, how can I help? And immediately said, you know what? I'm gonna cover the cost of all the spays and neuters that are brought to your hospital, so that at least you guys, because you were at this point now, and we didn't talk to her on day 1. We talked to her like on day 2 or 3 after we had already been
we didn't
pulling
really
cats.
know that where the funding and what was going to happen to these animals, and so and
then there were already so many hands involved that I think we were just trying to see where the pieces fell before we started pulling more people in, and
before we pulled more cats out. Because the scary thing is, at least the cats that are there, that's
safe.
where they're most comfortable. When we started pulling, it couldn't be a mass pulling of cats when shelters are not only full, but there are multiple that have severe respiratory cases, both before this need from this specific house and even afterwards, that have closed multiple times due to respiratory illnesses. And so they can't move cats safely in and out. So we have nowhere for cats to go right now.
Yeah. It's wild. Even still now, we're several weeks in. But so Marilyn, a couple of days into all of this, we talked to her and we're just like, we don't know what we're going to do right now. We've got the cats. We can house what we have right now, but we don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
We can start spaying and neutering, but with all these cats, how are we going to cover the cost of all of these? And so, she told us she'd get back to us, let her think on it, let her talk to some people. And she called back not too long after and was just like, hey, whatever you guys are pulling and bringing into your hospital, we're going to cover the cost of spaying and neutering. So at least it takes care of that portion of it. That's a huge portion of it.
It is. It was so nice to hear that. And I think that was a relief to a lot of people. And then reaching out to vendors, reaching out to places that got more donations. A local animal hospital, 10th Street, got combo tests for feline leukemia and feline AIDS, so that we can have some no cost testing that goes on. And luckily, we've had, of all the cats that we have done, we have had 0 that are positive for leukemia or AIDS.
I think we're in the 30s right now that have come through our hospital, and none have tested positive for anything.
And really, and I think we'll talk about it more, I've been pretty impressed with the health of most of these animals that are coming through.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention was that I did reach out in some like vet mom groups on Facebook and found 2 wonderful rescues that are a little bit outside of local that agreed to take some cats. So those helped us move from the initial 10 that we brought in. We got those scooped out, and then we were able to bring in, a couple more batches. So we've had multiple batches come through so that we can keep the progress moving, even if it is like a little bit slow.
Yeah. I think that's what we're really hoping for, is that we can find organizations that have the space, because I know everybody's dealing with it. Cats are just they repopulate quickly. They
very quickly.
very, very quickly. And it's hard. Once it gets out of control, it's hard to get a handle on it. And right now in Greenville, there is no handle on it.
No. And this, if we want to pull the wool over our eyes or whatever the saying goes and think that this is the only hoarding situation right here, even in our community, we're lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's so easy to happen. You think that this family had originally had a group of cats in there and just didn't understand how quickly this can change and grow. So all of, there was an original group of cats, but all 150 have pretty much been born in the home.
Right.
So we're dealing with ancestral populations that have probably some abnormalities from that we've seen with some like eye cases and things that they've had. But also I think it's important to stress that these animals have never been outside of here. So we talk a lot about placements, and we're so happy that so far we've had all of our placements. I mean, we have a couple that are going to be going out this week to the first groups of possible barn placements, but prior to then, all of them have found homes indoor. So that was amazing, and we were hoping to find everyone to be indoors. But a lot of these cats that we're getting to now, like the original groups that were pulled, especially by other organizations that were there initially, those were cats that were in the living room, in the living areas, like
friendly, socialized cats.
Yeah, and they were walking right into carriers. We are now in the bedrooms that their cats have not even been handled by the owners.
Gotcha.
These cats have made homes within mattresses, so we didn't even see the full extent. We have pulled, I think 94 cats from my calculation have exited the home.
That's wild.
And there are probably more than 60 cats still inside the home. We wish that we can get them all out, but like I said, we don't have anywhere to put them safely. And with all of these groups coming down with respiratory cases and these cats being overall healthy, we don't want to risk their lives.
Right. No.
We'd rather them stay where they're comfortable until we can find homes.
Yeah.
So,
and they have been. You're right. They have been really healthy overall. Like we've had a couple of cases here and there that
and I think a lot is to do with the conditions of the home. Like there's a lot of like the ammonia levels and things like when you go into the home, although I am shocked to say that it is much better taken care of than you would think to have that many cats. They've been doing a great job of keeping it as clean as possible, but there's odor associated with it. And I think that can be irritating to some of their eyes because they seem to be recovering very, very quickly. As soon as they get out of the home, they're really doing fantastic. Some of the ones that were really scared have kind of come out of their shell a bit. Others are very, very skittish. And so we have been throwing around the idea of these barn placements, and a lot of people were very upset at first, and I don't blame them. That's not what we wanted to do. It's not what meant. I don't know of a single rescue organization that prides themselves on outdoor cat living, especially in a community. But we're pretty desperate right now. These cats need to get out of the house for the owner's health, for their own health. And so we're opening our minds to just different things that we might be able to set them up for success. So this isn't like, hey, everyone call us and we'll just like drive by and throw cats out of the car.
Right.
This is a transition. And so with these, if somebody is willing to open up their acreage or their barn to these cats, it would be here is a large cage of some sort. Let's get them, or even if they have like a sunroom or a covered porch or something, somewhere that they can be confined to at first, so they can get used to the sounds of outside, where they're located, where they're going to be fed and given water, so that they can learn their environment, and then allowing them to transition to, okay, here's a larger space, or here you're going to be out during the day, but we're going to feed you and lock you up at night, so you get used to that, because we know that there's a risk to them going outside, and we want to set them up for as much success as we can. But we've met a lot of people now that have had barn cats or even shop. Like one gentleman has like a workshop that he's always like tinkering in, and he's always had cats. And so he recently lost his last cat in his late 20s. The cat lived to, and he's so sad and heard about this, and so reached out, and we might get him a new shop cat. So we're just trying to be open-minded and help as many of these cats as we physically can.
You think about it, if they're going into a place like you said, like there is still some sort of like controlled environment. But if there's somebody that's willing to like pour their heart into this cat, whether it be a fully indoor cat or an indoor outdoor cat or a shop cat,
and he's gonna take one of his buddies, like one of the cats that
he's got a friend with him.
Because you also think that these cats have never been outside of this home with 100 plus cats in
Yeah.
it, they've never been alone. They sleep in piles.
They do. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we've got pictures of them where you like the gentleman's club.
Yes.
Where they were. It's a cat. It's a room that's just got all the boy cats in it. It's called the gentleman's club. But we had the cat tower, the cat tree pushed back in the corner, and you open the door to look for cats, and there's none. And tucked in right behind the cat tree, you see 3 or 4 heads.
Yeah.
Like stacked on top of each other. And I'm like, how?
It seems to be where they were most comfortable, is like in close proximity. So, I think that going in at least pairs would be really nice for these guys. And then, can we talk about Tony Two Eyes? I'm in love with this cat.
There have been some that have come through that have stolen our hearts already.
It's always like the tomcats with the little cheeks. Oh my god!
Oh, he definitely got his ass beat before he got here.
He's been roughed up. He's definitely probably the biggest boy out there, but he's not the strongest.
He's huge and he's all white, but man, he got his ass handed to him.
Yeah. He's really cute. I would love to see him go.
But he's so tolerable. Like, you've gone in and put...
I love him, and he is completely doesn't care that I exist. He just tries to get away from me the whole time.
But he lets you put meds in his eyes. Like, he's a little scared, but...
He would prefer to like watch me, and I would prefer to snuggle him. So we meet in the middle. I put him in my lap, do his meds, and then I let him crawl off my lap, even though like tears fall because I just want him to cuddle me so bad.
If we're gonna talk about Tony Two Eyes, I feel like we need to talk about Arrow No Eyes.
Yeah, we did have one that it's really interesting to hear the owner's perspective that she was convinced that this cat was visual because he was born in that house.
Right.
He was born, I believe, blind based on the condition of both of his eyes. It did not appear that the eyes ever formed normally. And so, you
go ahead and tell your story first. I was going to ask a question about it.
So the owner was really upset to hear that he was going to need a double enucleation. So both of his eyes are removed. I didn't find it to be as upsetting because to me, he's really done well and adapts really well with no vision. Right. So we did remove his eyes, and he was painful when he first got here, and he was on pain meds because he had been seen by the ER. The owner actually took him to an emergency clinic, so he had received veterinary care. I think that's the important thing to note about this. The woman that owns the home and has all these cats is she really poured her heart and soul into these cats. The cleanliness of this house, in all things considered, was amazing. Of course, the pictures, I think like what we see is like the skinny cats and these pictures, and of course
when you
the worst
see a situation
ones are
like that, you're looking for all the problems.
And people are going to post probably the worst because the idea here is we need funds, we need placement, we need this to stick with an audience and help us. And so, but if you really look, you can see that she got really creative. Like she took litter. Like the
containers, the tub,
cut them and made those like really hygienic water bowls that didn't spill easily. There was no piles of feces anywhere. Like they used litter boxes. They had their food and water. They were fed regularly. She always had food available. The skinny
overall,
cats,
all the cats that have been here have been using litter boxes.
Yeah, and I think they were like older, had some health issues because all of the younger, healthier ones, I mean, they have good body condition. They're nice and filled out and have good muscle. Yeah. And so that was shocking. And I forgot what we started with. Oh, the eyes.
Oh, the eyes. Yeah.
So we ended up having to enucleate both of his eyes, and he acts like he could. This whole staff is convinced he can see too.
He
still
literally has
no
not
eyeballs.
Convinced that he is blind.
I know.
I watch him, and he doesn't know I watch him because he's blind.
But he knows because he somehow can see.
But he does. But I watch him, and so we have him in one of our boarding rooms in our boarding facility, and that's where we're keeping all of these cats, and that's how we're able to do this in the capacity that we're doing it, because not all vet hospitals can do this. Like we talk to our friends down the street, and they don't have the space to do this. No. So that's why they helped us with the combo test.
Right. And we didn't want this to interfere with the safety of our patients, because that's our priority, and we would never bring in cats to house inside of our hospital. We do, however, like you said, have that nice kennel area that we had stopped boarding in. And so we have a completely separate building that we can house them. And we've remodeled.
We've moved some cages around. We've
really somehow made this a big deal.
Turned into the Saving Grace's cat annex at 14th Street, Animal Care of Greenville. It's got a laundry service and everything. Be jealous.
Be jealous. It smells like milk cat. Be jealous.
It's not too bad now, actually.
No.
They've been amazing at cleaning that up.
Yeah.
But
and I've been neutering them.
And you've been neutering them. No, that's true too. But Arrow. So he's in this room, and it's not a cage. It's an actual room. It's got the entire door is like a plexiglass panel, so you can see through the whole thing. And when I go over there to clean and like play with the cats, I will slowly walk up to his room, especially if he's playing. And yesterday, I think it was, he was playing with, they have the paper pelleted litter over there, and there was a huge piece. I mean, it had to be probably like at least 1.5 inches long pellet, and it was on the floor, and he was batting it around, and his little face was like following it. I know it was probably sound waves, but I don't know.
It doesn't matter. He could see it
with
his no eyes.
I was convinced. I was
he
just
even
like,
plays with that circle one where the ball rolls around. And it's like he's watching. He'll even like pounce on it. But yeah, I really do. I think that he was born at this like disadvantage with vision, but he is so great at
Daredevil. What's his name? What's Daredevil's name? Daredevil, the lawyer guy. What's his name? Matt Murdock. That's who he needs to be. Because he's blind, but he sees with sound waves.
That's Arrow. Yeah, it's really interesting. He gets along with all the other cats in there. He eats, he drinks, he finds the litter boxes. It is literally magical to watch. But yeah, they're doing fantastic.
I mean, let's not discount the kitties that are over there that are like want to eat us. There are a couple that are unsocialized, that those are really the ones that we're like, if anybody needs to find like a barn or a farm or something to hang out on, like the ones that are really playful and friendly, like we're really pushing for them to find homes. But you know, at this point, we need help.
Yeah. We have number 18. Now he's put the little black kitten in the male cat room that we now have, and he's so sweet
the one
with the little soul patch. Yeah, he has like a little white chest patch, but he is really, really sweet, so friendly. Like you cannot go in there. Like I'm of course trying to get Tony to love me, and meanwhile this one's like in my armpit on my neck and like just wants my love, and I'm over here like, Tony, I could just give this guy love, but
no.
Tony's face.
So
oh man, am I boring you?
Yawning. Jeez,
sorry. Gotta go, guys. This is a terrible podcast. No one listens.
We shouldn't do these at the end of the day. It's hard. But what was I gonna talk about?
I don't know. I distracted you. Your yawn distracted all of us.
It distracted me. Oh, I wanted to ask. So I know, and I've explained this part to clients, that cats are forced ovulators. I learned that from you. But that they're not like dogs. They don't go into heat and then go out of heat and then they're good for a little while. Like
they're not like 6 months where they're not going to be, and they're induced ovulators. So as they're breeding, they are stimulating ovulation, and they're really great at procreating.
They are. And so I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. Like I want people to understand how a situation can go from a handful of cats to
150
cats.
Yeah, so I think when we first got started, I think just I could see and this is the ones that we were able to find and detect, but within a 1 week period of time, there were between 30 and 40 kittens either produced or would have been produced.
Yeah.
So that's in a 1 week time. And this is with an owner that was attempting to keep them separate. So there were male rooms and female rooms in the household. It wasn't a perfect situation because when she opened a door and a male snuck out of the male room,
Especially if there were cats
then
in
that
heat.
was it. Like then they really
And that
went
one
to
male
town.
cat, how many cats could he impregnate?
All of them. I mean, realistically, if he got out and he was in a group of females, I mean, a lot of these females are the same gestation, like they all had kittens around the same time. So it's clear that a male will get out, impregnate, and then she might catch him up and bring him back. And then that's too late now. So now in 60 something days, we're going to have a bunch of kittens and upwards of over 30 kittens just from that one escapee. So if multiple males escape, or if, there's a mismatch and she thought that it was a male and it wasn't, there's just all that possibility, and it can happen fast. Do you think in a week's time that you could have 30 to 40 more cats? And this is in an enclosed environment.
Yeah.
Imagine what's happening outside in our community when these cats are not spayed and neutered.
They're just in a colony together.
Like spaying and neutering is so important, and I think when they're outside, you think of it less because you're not seeing it happen.
They're hiding the babies, so you're not even seeing
You're just
those.
seeing them when they're a little bit older probably, and you're like, oh, there's more cats coming around. But that can be a really quick process. And so just spaying and neutering, if they're going to be outside, ear tipping so that people can see when something changes. If they're like, oh, another cat's been hanging around, oh, he's already been TNR'd. He's already been neutered or spayed, so you don't have to worry about it. But when they start seeing those ones that are coming and they have both their ears like that, I think it's a good indication that you need to start setting traps and we need to get that taken care of right away. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of cats on your hands.
Yeah. And just so that listeners understand, because I know that I feel like in our area, ear tipping is not as prevalent. People frown upon it or think that it's wrong or cruel, but it's a universal
identification process. Yeah. I think it's nice to tattoo. However, when we're thinking about these cats, we just don't know where they're going to end up. If they end up in homes, then the worst case scenario is that they cosmetically are missing a portion of their ear. It's not going to bother them. It shouldn't bother you. So please don't let that ever hinder you adopting a cat, because that cat is not changed at all just because its ear is tipped. But if that cat ends up outside, it's so much easier for owners to keep tabs on who they have, who's been already trapped, or if you trap them, you're not sedating them. Because if these are not handleable, you put their body through sedation to just check if they've been spayed or neutered.
And if
you can't tell,
that's what I was going to say.
you don't
have to go in,
open them up, or do blood testing that costs more than what it costs to spay or neuter these animals. It's not cost or safe, or cost prohibitive or safe for these pets. And so it's a very easy way to identify the need. And so please, especially in these, we're getting to the ones that we don't know their temperaments. We're getting them in traps. We're spaying and neuter them as fast as we can. And in order to do that, we're not able to get to know them and say, oh, this is definitely going to be an indoor one, so don't tip his ears. We just can't. So please, 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 if you have the ability to open your home up to one of these cats, don't judge them for their cute little ear tip. Just love it.
It is cute. It is cute. All of them are healing up nicely.
Yeah,
and
they're doing great.
Okay, we need a story time, because I've heard it and it's the funniest thing ever. And we were already talking about kittens, and I need you to talk about the one little kitten.
Oh, can I say that?
I think so.
Story? Okay, so
I think it shows just how fast it happens, and I think that was a drive-by drop off.
And so we were going into the home multiple times and other people were too, to get cats. And so cats were leaving. We don't know who was pregnant, who wasn't, anything like that. And so we went the next day, and we were picking up some more cats, and I'm walking through, and I am not a small lady. I'm stomping through this house. It's pretty dark in there. It's not a very bright home. And so all of a sudden the owner was like, oh, watch out. I think you guys forgot a kitten. And I was like, what? And she just reaches down and she's like, here you go. And I just put my hand out and I'm like, is this going to be a mouse? Like, I didn't know, I couldn't see anything. And there's just all of a sudden like a creature in my hand. So I had to like walk to the light and I realized it is a little kitten. It was not a mouse. But then she just like comes up to me 3 more times and just says, oh, I think you forgot another one. And so there were just these little babies on the floor. Like, we didn't even know who the mom was.
Yeah.
And so luckily, I think we took the mom the day before. So I wonder if she was in labor and not, either she was finished and she just hid them somewhere and they were starting to like
crawl around,
venture out. But these were like 1 to 2 day old babies, like would not have survived much longer without their mom. And maybe the mom was still there and we just couldn't find her. I don't know. But we ended up taking those kittens and placing them with one of the other mamas that had already had 2 of her own, and they are thriving. The picture of them, I don't know if anyone has seen it on the Saving Graces page, but that fluffy little white kitten, I just want to squeeze it. It's so cute.
And it's crazy though that if, I don't know if that was, I don't know if that was their mom or if that was just another mama, but she took them right. It didn't matter if she was or wasn't.
Thin. She was, herself. She's very nervous.
She had babies in our clinic. So she's actually one that we trapped or put in a carrier, brought in, got into a cage, and the next day, literally the next morning, our team comes in and they're just like, there's babies in the cage.
We're like, shoot. But yeah, and then Saving Grace's foster volunteered to take them and then had to come right back and get the new bundle of joys. And mom's been doing great. They've been taking such good care, like providing her with good nutrition, just like supporting mom as much as they can. And now her babies are thriving.
And she's a sweet girl too.
So there's going to be some more babies needing adoption.
More cats.
Cats and cats and cats. Cats. I like dream of cats. I was having trouble sleeping in the beginning of all this because it's stressful. It's stressful to have, and I felt like there was so many people involved. It was hard to just know, like, can we get a pattern? Can we get some sort of rhythm going? And I think I'm happy to state now that I feel like at least less people just in and out, like having Sam from Pet Food Pantry be like the
point of contact
with the owner,
the traffic director, really, pretty much.
It's just, that's all it is. It's like, get the cats out, let's get them vetted, and then where do they go, and
same thing here. Like I feel like the first week of you guys transferring cats to our hospital, it, like, my head wouldn't stop spinning. I was just like, we have to get a process in order. I mean, we've done countless spay-neuter clinics and it's never felt as chaotic as this. And we've had 40 to 50
and I
cats.
think, because we were at the time worried about how to house them, where are they going to, it was so much different than just like an in and out spay-neuter.
And I think a big part of it, in the beginning it was funny, and then now we've got rooms with like 8 to 10 cats in it. But when we first started bringing them in, we were trying to put like 1 cat here and 1 cat here and only 1 cat in all the spaces. And then we were like, oh, you look stressed out. Let's put you down here with a friend.
They wouldn't eat without a friend.
Yeah. And so now there's like the biggest bowls of food in rooms with like anywhere between 6, depending on the size of the room, like 6 to 10 cats.
And huge shout out, because we don't want a lot of people coming in. So I think that's a hard thing, is I think a lot of people want to be involved and they want to socialize the cats and they want to do all these things. But not only are we a veterinary hospital, even though this is in our kennel area and not truly in our hospital, but also with all the respiratory diseases going on, like, we don't want a lot of people in and out. And so we have 2 wonderful women that are really helping provide the care. They bring so many donated supplies in, but Ann Garland and Marilyn Thompson have been on their own time coming in and taking care of them on weekends
and giving
evenings.
Our team a break. Like, they told us, once we got everything established next door and got it up and running, and I think got a good system in place, they were just like, you know what, you guys take care of the morning because you're there, and it's not overwhelming to do it first thing in the morning, but in the afternoon we know you're chaotic, so leave it, we'll come and we'll take care of everything. And so it's been, I know the team has
because it is
been extremely appreciative of that.
Very grateful of the help, because it is an overwhelming feeling to know there's all those animals that need care even before we even open our doors to all the animals coming in that we're going to be working on that day. So that has been Wonderful. And can we talk about it? Can I give a little sneak peek? There's no official information out yet.
Okay.
That Saving Graces is
for
thinking
that,
about doing,
yes.
an event, like an open house
Yeah.
at some point where we can have a little bit more foot traffic. People can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
They can donate supplies. They can donate money.
visit
They
the
can
cat
come
annex.
visit. Yeah, they can see some of these cats, like especially people that are truly interested in adoption, maybe setting up like different times where they
Yeah.
can come and meet specific cats. I think would be a wonderful
Yeah.
thing. You know, of course, that's scary to us because like we just talked about with just transfer of diseases, but we know that we need everyone's help. We truly do. And so if we can get some traction in the community on finding placement for these cats, or
Yeah.
even if other rescue groups find this
Right.
podcast and it gets shared.
I mean, I feel like if it's
help.
drivable, and don't test
Yeah.
me,
No,
because
we will-
drivable
yeah.
is there's a lot of there's a lot of room for interpretation there when I say
Yeah.
drivable, but
We're pretty desperate.
we
We're
want
used
to
to
get
it.
these cats where they're going to be taken care of, where they're going to be safe, where they're going to be able to thrive and like live out their best lives. And so if that means meeting somebody halfway or taking a little road trip to get them somewhere, like we've already
Especially if
had.
there's multiple rescues in the same area and each can take, like if each take 5 and there's 3 of them, to move 15 cats out of this house,
huge.
it's so helpful.
This owner's already so grateful. Like she can sleep better at night. She can breathe better in her house. And I can't say like how amazing our community has been in this situation.
Yes, getting her air conditioning units and
She had no
fans and
AC.
things.
She had no
Yes.
AC. And so people worked together to get her some window units to help cool her house. And we've had somebody offer up their time and efforts to come in and clean out her house. Like as they get room by room emptied out, they're going in and they're deep cleaning, the entire room, and will eventually clean out her whole house. And so that's just, I don't know, it warms my heart to know that we have such an amazing network of human beings in our community.
And we've had like the groups that have helped, like Purr Partners in Wake Forest. Yeah. And we also had Adoption First Animal Rescue in Jacksonville that came in and took cats, and that has been, and even set up transportation, veterinarian that came all the way out here just to give me some advice and help me in this situation. Like just people dropping things that are going on in their life to help, even like from a distance, has been the coolest thing about this whole process, is just the amount of help.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been, it seriously has been awesome. And especially, I think it makes it even more worthwhile, being that it's been such a stressful situation.
Yeah.
So
a lot of high emotion, and I'm hoping that we're coming down from that. I think at first people were really worried about who's doing what, and just all kind. I mean, just getting in the weeds over it and not seeing big picture. And now I feel like everything's
realizes that
calmed
we're
down. Everyone's
moving
trying to
in
do
the
the
same
same thing. Yeah, and we've gotten so much help that I think that took a lot of the pressure and load off. At first, it was like, we need this, we need this, we need this, and then we realized, oh my gosh, we have such fantastic support systems that we don't need anything. The only thing we need right now is placements.
Yep.
So if anyone has, like, share this, just spread the word.
Yeah.
Just please find anyone that is looking for a little cat companion.
yeah. And if you're in the area and you feel like you want a baby to take home, like we can set up some time to do a little meet and greet through, I know Saving Graces is helping us kind of head that. So thank you guys for listening in, and share this, like she said, share it, and hopefully we can help get all of these cats out of this sweet lady's house and get her back into like a normal home.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Catch you guys next time.